If Caitlin Clark is the quote unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it.
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs. I know the mainstream media wants us to believe that the WNBA...
Did you watch the WNBA playoffs without Caitlin Clark? Most people didn't. Viewership dropped from 1.8 million down to just 161,000.
Ratings for Game 1 have got to be disappointing for Kat Engelbert and the WNBA front office. There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers. However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way. There were 3 other games in the WNBA on Sunday night.
That's not just a small dip, that's a complete crash. Now, people are asking, can the WNBA survive without its breakout star?
Caitlin Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlin to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years. Some people get famous on art.
Let's talk about Caitlin Clark. She didn't just join the league. She completely shook it up.
From merchandising sales to new sponsorships to television ratings absolutely going through the roof to attendance to sellouts at basketball games to all-star games with record attendance both in person and on television. It is safe to say, North America, that the Caitlin Clark effect has taken over the WNBA at this point.
The Indiana Fever went from being a team no one paid attention to making the playoffs. And that was all thanks to her. That's how fast she turned things around. But without her, the league is now facing empty seats and TV ratings no one wants to see.
WNBA ratings are embarrassing without Caitlin Clark. 0 games have sold out in the playoffs. Outside of Caitlin Clark, there was not a single game that eclipsed 500,000 viewers. Hell, they weren't even close to doing that. Once she is eliminated,
it's like the show's over and everyone left. So here's the big question. Did the WNBA put all its hopes into one player? And if so, what happens now that she's not in the playoffs? We're diving into why this moment could be huge for women's basketball. Remember when the Fever were just another team? Now they're playoff material, all because of one athlete.
This woman is box office, plus she can play. And the combination of the two would ultimately get...
But Clark isn't just helping her team. She's changing the entire league. When I think of her impact, the word that comes to mind is gratitude. The numbers tell a story most didn't expect.
Let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlin Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude.
Clark's rookie season wasn't just impressive. It made history. These aren't just solid stats. These are numbers that even longtime basketball fans are amazed by.
Well, I'm just looking at some of the numbers here. When we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
In her first ever playoff game, she became the only rookie in WNBA history to score at least 25 points, grab 5 rebounds, and hand out 5 assists. That's not just setting records. That's making new ones.
See that. We see the capability on the basketball court. She can shoot, she can handle, she certainly can pass, okay? I look at it from that standpoint and I say mad respect. Are there other players in the WNBA?
And it gets even better.
Because at the end of the day, with her WNBA rookie season complete, that's it. Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history.
Across the whole playoff series, she averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block per game. No other WNBA player has ever put up numbers like that in the playoffs. That's superstar level stuff. We're talking Michael Jordan territory. But what does this mean for the league? Clip 11. Before Clark, the Indiana Fever were barely on anyone's radar. Now they're a must-watch team.
Career 10 or more assists in a game. How about that franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game? Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 three-pointers. She did it in 34 games, most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever, 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season, regardless of years in the league. That's not a rookie record. That's just a record for anybody.
She didn't just help them improve. She made them contenders almost overnight. Clip 13. But it's not just what happens during the games. Clark's influence reaches far beyond the court. Clip 14. The WNBA is seeing record-high viewership. And it's all because people want to see Caitlin Clark.
And the attention that she brought to a woman's league and a women's side, if you will, of the sport is just, I think, hopefully going to have a residual effect for years to come.
Yeah, I think it can't be overstated enough, like what she did to bring eyes to that sport. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's just a fact.
She's not just a basketball player anymore. She's become the face of the league. Think about it. When was the last time a WNBA player got this much attention? Clark isn't just drawing basketball fans. She's bringing in people who've never even watched women's sports before.
Just looking at some of the numbers here. When we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlin Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
She's made the league relevant in a way it hasn't been for years. But now there's a problem. Everything seems to be riding on her. And that raises a serious question. Is this good for the WNBA? Putting all your hope into one person is risky. And now that Clark is out of playoffs, the league is facing reality check. Did they just lose their best chance at long-term success?
Trickled up to the WNBA this season as the league has seen unprecedented growth thanks to the emergence of a strong rookie class headlined by number 1 overall pick Caitlin Clark. So WNBA released a report recently. Numbers are beyond impressive. Attendance is up 156% from last year, and more than half of all WNBA games this year have been sellouts. This year's televised games are averaging 1.32 million viewers, nearly triple last season's average of 462,000. Continuing, the WNBA's online merchandise stores already set a single-season sales record with more than 4 months left in the season, and sales are up 756%.
Let's look at the numbers. Remember how full the arenas were during Clark's games? That's no longer the case. Some playoff games can't even fill half the seats.
The WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth of the league.
Picture walking into what should be an exciting playoff game, only to see rows of empty chairs. That's what's happening now. And it's not just about fans. The WNBA is losing serious money.
So if we look at this chart for the 2024 season, the Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 games. So this is taking into consideration not only the Indiana Fever home games, but also when they are on the road.
We're not talking small change. The NBA gives the WNBA $200 million every year just to keep it going. Meanwhile, the NBA pulls in over $7 billion from TV deals alone. That's a massive difference.
It's Caitlin Clark. We all know that. They are now seeing that the Clark effect is living up to the hype.
Caitlin Clark. From a draft party.
Yeah, baby, number 1.
Where nearly 6,000 people attended.
Look at the crowd here. You can see where she ranks on anticipation. This is amazing to have. I was here for the draft party a few years ago, and it was nothing compared to what it is now. This is amazing.
To the team store, where gear is flying off the shelf.
So, what's the WNBA's plan to fix this? You'd think they'd be doing everything to market Clark, right? Shockingly, they haven't even made a single commercial with her.
Is going to get a rude awakening because 2 million, that click, 2 million of their fans just turned the TV back to the NFL.
Not one. It's like they have a superstar in their hands and decided to keep her a secret. And it's not just about Clark. The league's whole marketing game is being questioned. One analyst even said the WNBA without her is a polished turd. Harsh words, but maybe a wake-up call. The league leaned too hard on Clark and forgot to build a strong foundation.
The most dominant team in the league, they can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. Atlanta Dreamers and the New York Liberals. Again, the Liberals, they supposedly have stars. Remember when ESPN claimed that the Liberals had the new big three? Dreamers, Liberals. 410,000 viewers. The other game was the Phoenix Masculines and the Minnesota Linkers.
Without her in the playoffs, fans are disappearing fast. In today's world, losing attention like that can destroy a brand.
They should be getting the attention. Now they have center stage, but the ratings are going to go down. How far, though? That's the key.
The worst part? It didn't have to be this way. The WNBA had a real shot with Clark. They could have used her popularity to shine a light on other players, build stories, and keep people watching no matter who was playing. But instead, they bet everything on her, and now they're paying the price.
In 2024, the WNBA is estimated to bring in $200 million in revenue. Just for comparison, the NBA is expected to earn $13 billion. The WNBA has historically lost around $10 million per season.
You might be thinking, okay, things look bad, but what now? The fix isn't simple. It'll take a complete rebuild. First step, better marketing. The WNBA needs to highlight more than just one star.
Kelsey Mitchell on here instead of Caitlin Clark? The face of your entire league, you left off this promotional graphic. Again, Kelsey Mitchell.
Imagine a league where every player has their own story, their own following, where rivalries are real and games feel exciting, even if the big names aren't playing. The WNBA needs to make every game feel special, and they can't just wait around for another Caitlin Clark to come along.
But the ratings are going to go down. How far, though? That's the key. And are they going to be pointing fingers and blaming Indiana Fever fans and Caitlin Clark fans whenever the ratings don't stay the same?
They need to actively scout new talent, train future stars, and keep raising the bar. Fans should be saying, wow, no matter which team is playing.
The attendance numbers in New York and Las Vegas last night, they were the same as Sunday night. There has yet to be a sellout in the WNBA playoffs. They couldn't even sell out the 9,000-seat Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut for the playoff debut of Katie Rude. It was the closest they came to a sellout, but it still wasn't sold out.
But none of that matters if people stop caring. The WNBA must create lasting storylines, not just for one season, but for years. Build strong team identities, stir up real rivalries, and give fans a reason to care, even when their favorite player is having an off night. And let's not forget the financial side. They need new ways of bringing money.
She just knows that there were people on the ground pounding the pavement that were doing so much for women's basketball everywhere that deserve their praise.
Think merchandise, think sponsorships, think partnerships. There's so much potential, but they need to go after it now. Let's wrap this up. The WNBA put too much pressure on one player, and now they're in trouble. Empty arenas, low ratings, and a league trying to stay alive. But it's not too late.
Like, she's coming in, and from a marketing standpoint, yes, have eyes on her, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because at the end of the day, we can't predict the future wire. We just can't.
They need to focus on building more stars, creating stories, and making every game feel like a big event. It's time to get smart with marketing, improve the live experience, and find new ways to grow.
This is why the league has to expand their vision, because you're going to get a lot of new fans that's coming.
But the real question is, can the WNBA survive without depending on just one superstar? Or are we witnessing the beginning of the end for women's pro basketball? Drop your thoughts in the comments. How would you save the WNBA?
But if you're not delivering the product and you're not making the revenue and you're not, giving people the entertainment that they want, then you're not going to make any money and your league is going to suck.
The league has to be ready with its infrastructure. The league has to be ready with its tech. The league has to be ready with its vision. Think bigger. Yes. I'm saying think bigger.